Saint Lucia is embarking on a mission to double its economic output over the next 10 years, and CIP funds are critical to that growth. However, the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is taking a page from Sir Arthur Lewis, winner of the Nobel Prize for Economics, in warning that the funds should not be squandered on salaries or recurrent expenditure.
CIP is crucial as a source of funding for a lot of the infrastructure and a lot of the government projects that we are referring to in that 4%. So CIP is the other sector beyond tourism in terms of an income source that is going to be vital for us to be able to continue that growth trajectory.
The central bank governor emphasized the importance of common standards among CIP countries in the region in helping preserve the integrity of each other's programs.
In some countries, CIP is used for recurrent expenditure, which we caution against. We've always said as a central bank to avoid doing that and use CIP for productive sectors: agriculture, food security, education, health, skills, infrastructure, because you have to see the benefits. You have to be able to look back and see what CIP did for you. If you spend it on salaries and recurrent expenditure, you've consumed it and you have nothing to show.
With growing controversy and several legal cases surrounding the citizenship by investment programs of several Eastern Caribbean countries, the central bank's role is becoming ever more important to the future of these islands' economies.
We've said, for example, it cannot be that somebody who's rejected as an applicant in one country ends up in another country. That's a risk to the currency union and a risk to our membership, our members. So we've advocated for that. And I'm pleased that we're now at the point where it's been agreed by our heads that we will set up a regional regulator, and ECCB has been asked to help set it up. We have to lead that work. So ECCB's role has been advocacy, and now our role is to set up the regulator.
The need for transparency is also growing as CIP evolves from being an economic issue into being a political and legal one.
The principal role of ECCB in recent years has been advocacy, the need for common standards, some kind of regulatory arrangement, the need for transparency about the ins and outs. What do I mean? The flows. How much money comes in and how much money is spent. Transparency around that by publishing these reports in Parliament on a timely basis and telling the nation what, in fact, where the money is being used and where it is going.
The central bank has also taken up a leading role as an advocate for CIP in countries in the region.
In terms of advocacy, one of the things that we have consistently done as part of advocacy is our engagement with the U.S. Treasury. The U.S. Treasury is the equivalent of the Ministry of Finance of the United States. We have consistently engaged with the U.S. Treasury on CIP programs and how we could strengthen them so that we can protect and preserve them. And I'm pleased to report that 2 weeks ago when we met in Grenada with the United States, we were able to show and agree on real progress on the 6 commitments that we made with the U.S. We meaning the 5 countries that have these programs, which we signed in February 2023. 18 months on, the progress is real. 6 commitments, we have now achieved substantial compliance on 4 of these 6. The first of which is collective treatment of denials, which simply means if one country rejects or declines an application for citizenship, every other country rejects or declines that application. And the information is shared with everybody.
The East Caribbean Central Bank and CIP member countries still have work to do to satisfy the requirements of stakeholders and allies like the US and the EU, however.
The 2 areas that we have not yet reached compliance on is audits. And on that one, 2 of our 5 countries have actually completed audits. The other 3 have now commenced, and we expect over the next 6 months that all countries would have completed their audits, and thereafter every year or every other year they will do these audits, both operational and financial.
St. Lucia has so far spent millions of dollars of CIP funds. Over the last month alone, CIP funds have funded early childhood education, crime-fighting initiatives, equipment upgrades for the police, agricultural initiatives, and a $10 million donation to the OKEU hospital to address that institution's burgeoning debt. For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seaflay.